The Horus Heresy appeals because it's a total hobby. It's a complete setting where, over the last 35 years, it's been explored and revealed one bit at a time. So that every time we reveal something new about it, it feels familiar, it feels rooted in this really deep canon of work.
It's the origin story of all of Warhammer 40,000. But then there's always the question of how exactly did everything unfold? Horus falls, but how did Horus fall? What was it actually like to be there? I think that's what makes it really, really compelling.
It's where everything stems from. It's where all the sort of animosities and rivalries are born out of that. It's a tragedy as well. It's got all those great big Shakespearean qualities to it that makes it very exciting.
Oh, my favourite moment in the Horus Heresy has got to be the drop site massacre. This is the time when the loyalists actually realise that it's gone further than they expected. More legions have turned, not just Horus and Mortarion and Angron.
I enjoy all the moments just before it all starts to go really, really wrong. In Dan Abnett's book, Horus Rising, I just love the moment when you first meet Horus from Loken's point of view. And he just appears in the middle of this battle, changes the course of it, and he is as awe-inspiring as you would expect a Primarch to be. And then he just looks down at Loken and goes, "Not so formal, Garvey." And it's just a fantastic moment.
I've got lots of favourite moments, but I particularly enjoy those occasions where you get two Primarchs. One of my favourite examples of that is from the novel Saturnine, where Rogal Dorn takes to the field to defend one of the walls. Fulgrim engages him in combat, and he assumes his demonic form in the middle of this confrontation with Rogal Dorn. And that's the moment where the scales fall from Rogal Dorn's eyes about just how far his brothers have fallen and about what they've made happen, what doom they've brought upon humanity at that moment.
My favourite moment in the Horus Heresy is pretty much impossible to pick. Symbolically, in terms of the mythology, as a fan, not as a creator or a writer, it's going to be a tight call between Sanguinius at the Eternity Gate, which is possibly the single greatest act of heroism in the entire canon, and, of course, the final clash. It is not only just something of staggering scale, it's something that has resonated ever since.
I think if I was to choose a legion, I'd probably end up in the Sons of Horus, but I think for me, I'd probably be following Garvey or Loken back to Terra to become a Knight Errant.
The Emperor's Children are my favourite traitor legion, and the White Scars are my favourite loyalist legion. I think I collect both armies. The White Scars and the Emperor's Children have this ongoing conflict, which partly resolves itself to some degree at the Siege of Terra. So being there at the beginning and at the end, I really enjoy collecting two armies that sort of interact with each other in that way.
I really love writing the Imperial Fists, always have. They're so stoic. And that breaks them. It's a virtue underfloor. So they'll take any amount of pressure, any amount of loss in order to do their duty.
If I could join a legion, it would be the Lunar Wolves. And it would be the Lunar Wolves before the fall, because I think they were absolutely glorious until disaster struck.
And I think it's that totality of it as a hobby that really makes it incredibly interesting to people. And people come to it from different angles. Some people are really invested in the narrative, in the story, in the novels. Other people are incredibly invested in the game and the particular mechanics of the game and the scenarios that you can play out.
I think the appeal for me and for veteran players of Horus Heresy, it's always been your legions can be vast, it can have different equipment, it can have different colour schemes. So as a hobbyist, it allows you to paint your armies in a variety of ways.
It's scouring the source material, reading through the novels, being inspired by pieces of artwork or stories is an enormously satisfying part of the Horus Heresy hobby.